Hello, everyone. I'm not sure this is working. And once again, I'm stuck trying to figure out. I can't get this stupid thing. It's very frustrating. I can't get this stupid thing into portrait mode. Landscape mode. But just for fun. Whoops. Let's take a look at what we did yesterday. And if you look at what we did yesterday, everybody's dry. Like, everybody's done. And so let's zoom in to push him back. So here's our demon. And you know what? I think he came out pretty good. And then here's our spaceman. Here's the orc we did yesterday. Whoops, that's back view. Front view. He's looking good. He's looking good. Like, if we were to be gaming with this guy, he'd look okay on a gaming table, I think. And as I said before, I mean, I make miniatures for fun, and for gaming, not really for display purposes. So there's no Golden Demon Award that I'm gunning for here. Let's take a look at our Bifrost Orc. We're going to do a bunch more of these guys in that same color scheme. So today, I'm going to show you a little bit. These guys are going in what I call the glaze box, where we're going to hit them with some matte spray. And, here's a guy I just did. I did this guy before I call this a guy. It's a monstrosity of some kind that I did right before the ones I did on cam. So some kind of dungeon monster. I don't know. 50mm miniatures are super duper cheap. They generally cost less than $1, sometimes less than 50 cents a miniature. And you usually get them in little baggies of several of them. So if you're a 28mm guy, maybe you're a guy that's done those D&D plastic miniatures that are pre-painted, all I can tell you is you're missing out. 15mm is the way to go. They're quick to paint, and they look great. They take up less, room on the battlefield, which means you can make bigger and more interesting encounters and dungeons. If you're a role-playing gamer, if you're a war gamer, they look great. You can make more interesting battles. I am a skirmish guy. I like 5 to 8 miniatures on a side, generally. I mean, you could use more, obviously. You can always use more. I do apologize. Whoops. What is this? I do apologize that this guy is still in portrait mode, because that is not what I intended. I think we're going to try and do... Yesterday we did... How many miniatures did we paint yesterday? I painted 4 miniatures yesterday. But they were like 4 different miniatures. So what we're going to do today... Let's go for 6. We're going to go for 6. Can it be done? Is it possible? These 3 and those 3. And this one's identical to that one, so that one should be pretty quick. The colors are also going to be identical. Oh, I've still got my eye switches out and some of my robots. Let me throw those back on the shelf. All right. The other caveat, when we're talking about 15 millimeter miniatures, is it's okay to screw up. They're so small. First of all, hardly anyone will notice. I mean, you'll know. That's the worst part. Okay. I know I said 6. This guy is mostly done. He just needs a base. I have some blue here. All of my Bifrost orcs are going to get the blue treatment. Oh, let's turn this light on. Hang on for a second. Are we ready for some more light? How about that? Wow. It's like that wow stream. So these guys are, if you're wondering why they look like they do, they are primer painted in black. I use kind of a matte black primer. And then I dry brushed them in kind of a bone color. And I call it ecru, an off-white. Oh, this guy's sword is a bit bent. The other benefits of 15 millimeter, connected to chat. The other benefits of 15 millimeter is that the weapons don't break. Well, I mean, they do. If you really work at a weapon, you can break it off anything. But with 28 millimeter, and I'll show you an example of a 28 millimeter miniature, just for fun. This is an old chainmail miniature. I have a couple of these guys. These were part of the Law and Order, the Lawful group that they came out with. So there's original chainmail, and then there's like around the year 2001, they came out with a new chainmail. This guy's crossbow is very prone to breaking off, and he's also prone, he's older and he's prone to chipping. He's already chipped up pretty good. Do I have another one? If I go looking, I could find another one with a broken crossbow. Those aren't my favorite miniatures. Among other things, I don't understand why the crossbows had to be glued on, because they're, I have several miniatures that have similar looking crossbows that were just, came out of the came out of the mold that way. One thing I probably should have done. Oh my goodness. One thing I probably should have done anyhow was painted his loincloth first. I think that's what I did with the last guy. I did his loincloth, and then I did his belt. And now I'm going to be going in and doing that again. But, in general, you want to go from the inside out just to avoid painting on top of something else. So he's mostly shirtless, so let's... go in and get him. All right, we're getting somewhere. He's got some pointy ears. If you want to be really careful, you can kind of go in and do the hair and the shoulder pads first. That way you're less likely to, then you go into the ears again, so that you're less likely to get the brown leather color all over their ears, or all over their faces. Angels with dirty faces. So if you remember, I gooped this guy with the brown stuff yesterday, the brown super shader. Today he's looking good. I think he came out good. I think it shaded in the eye sockets and in the mouth pretty well. All right. Just for efficiency purposes, let's do all the orcs at once. Well, tell you what. Let's do another of the same. I've got several. When you're painting a whole army, you can kind of do the same ones over and over again. These are more ape-like orcs. I also have the more pig-like orcs put out by Splintered Light. They have a kind of a more AD&D range, which is very cool. I like them both. Like them all. In World of Warcraft, they have orcs, but they also have like these wild boar guys that were in the desert area across the river. Does anybody remember that? I forget what they're called. Cool guys. I mean, the design is awesome. I was kind of inspired to draw some a couple of years ago in my sketchbook. I'm going to have to go get some cleaner water. My brush water is pretty gnarly right now. The truth is, no matter how poorly you paint your miniatures, as long as the bases look good, you've got the bases look good, the colors uniform, and that there's colors at all, they're going to look good on the battlefield. There's no reason, to stand on circumstance. Certainly not for the paints either. I mean, the paints I'm using, Craft Acrylics, El Cheapo, about $1 or $1.50 at most. I've asked my girlfriend for Christmas to get me some of the Army Painter quick shade paints. Quick paints? What are they called? It's a new line. And they have one line with like 24 colors, I think. That's their biggest one right now, but supposedly there's an even bigger one coming. And it's not cheap. It's like $100 for 24 colors. Citadel has something similar with even more colors, but even also more expensive. Okay, take a look. Got 2 dudes now. Got 3 dudes now. We're going to make sure they all kind of match up. All right, now this guy. He's wearing sort of remnants of chainmail and kind of a fur tunic and boots. He's not barefoot. He's a dual wielder. Let's take a look at his back. I think his back is exposed. So he's kind of like wearing like a set of like almost like football shoulder pads. Look at things. All right, let's get in there. And yes, he obviously has a helmet. Is he wearing boots or is he barefoot? You know what? I think he's barefoot. I think he's barefoot. We're going to paint this guy as if he were barefoot. All right, hang on. There we go. What's going on with his thighs? His thighs and his knees. What do you think? I think that's kind of selling it. All right. I'm teaching a 5-day class at work right now. I'm actually teaching a series of 5-day classes. This is the first one. I got another next week and another the week after that. And it takes it out of you, I tell you what. So I'm kind of glad to be able to kick back and just paint some minis. It's very relaxing. Other mini painters talk about this all the time, the sort of the relaxing effect of just kind of doot. Sit down and paint some minis. All right. They all look good. Wait, let's move them into view. All right. I'm going to refill my water. Be right back. Oakley dokley, I'm back. This is my brush cleaning water. It's important to treat your brushes pretty well. They are pretty disposable, at least the way I use them. I don't know how to make it so that they just don't go away. They tend to self-destruct over time. Okay. Oh, I have as long as we're on the subject of miniatures, I wanted to show you. Hang on for a second. This, so I have. This is my priming box. It's a box I have in the basement, and you can see I've got a full-size Jabberwock. He's gonna be awesome, but I've got to spray paint him. Oops. And then I have a bunch of Nagas and little, like, rabbits. I don't know if you can see these guys. They're tiny. Tiny rabbits. I thought it'd be funny to do, like, a rabbit swarm. Oh, I also have kind of a Dark Lord Sauron type character. Oh, he's got... I got to clean up some of the stuff on him. Hang on. Well, we'll figure it out. Anyway... So those are coming up. Just in order to keep the ball rolling, I'm usually priming some miniatures, spray finishing some miniatures with the matte spray, and then painting some miniatures all in the same hour or hour and a half that I'm gonna do this. This is my matte finish spray, so we're going to get that demon and the two space crew guys that I did yesterday. Oh yeah. Getting high. Okay. The good stuff. The spray finish, I mean, it's going on top of varnish already because that brown stuff is a type of varnish. Whoops. Here's my finished Bifrost work. But it helps to protect it. It keeps the bases from not, flaking apart. All that other stuff. This is the, from Jake last night, his idea was this character should be a medic. My initial idea was that maybe she's the captain, but I think the medic is probably even better. So I never have a medic in my away team. Like if I were to do like a scenario with a starship crew, a medic would be a great character to have on there. And then this could be the captain. It's another female character. And she's got a gun. So let's do her. We're going to do her, instead of doing her in the navy dark blue, we're going to put her in white. And like a medic. As if she's a medic. And I have a cool trick that I can do on white. You've seen my brown varnish. I also have a special black super shader. And it's not super varnishy. It's not super viscous. It's quite liquidy, and it sinks down into the deepest crevices and creates a nice sharp black outline. And it looks really great on like robots, for example. All right. White is always a weird color to work with because it, opacity is always an issue. Shading is definitely an issue. I'm running into all that right now. whatever hair color I give her, it can't be... If I give her like a really dark, like black almost hair color, it's not going to look good. It's just going to look, oh, she's black and white. Okay. So I got to give her something other than that. So my idea is I'm going to give her this blonde, whoop. Yeah, hey, sorry about that, Sideburns. Yeah, all chat was deleted yesterday. Sorry about that. I apologize, because what it was is I couldn't figure out how to get this out of portrait mode. I mean, so it was sitting sideways, and everything was sideways. Hey, how's it going? We're going to try and paint some hair onto this medic. Maybe. She's going blonde. This is not a very attractive looking miniature. I have some really, nicely sculpted, cute lady miniatures. But whoever did these is not really into that. These girls, they're tough looking. They look tough. They're definitely a no-nonsense group. Okay, she's blonde. This one looks a little like my ex-wife. All right. Okay, we gotta let her dry. And then I'm gonna use, so this is the brown super shader. Where is it? This stuff is brown, dark brown. But I also have this stuff, which is black. And it's, see how liquid it is? It's really liquidy. It'll seep down into the cracks, and it'll create sharper outlines and less shade. So it won't look like a dirty uniform. And then even if it does, I'll just dry brush over it. I also have, this is just shade. I think it's called Quick Shade. Looks terrible. But it can also do that as well. Just not as nicely. That looks better on like a color, I would say. All right. We're going to let our medic dry. And let's do the captain in dark blue. Same dark blue as everybody else yesterday, which is a navy blue, which is this color right here. Yeah, I apologize for the chat getting deleted. I don't know. I don't know enough about streaming to fix it. I was trying to do an edit to snip off the beginning, and that's where I lost it. So it is my fault, but I just don't know how to fix it. I'm going to try and do some research and do a better job next time. All right, so back to this lady. The captain. The captain. Rather than treat her as having a one-piece outfit, I'm going to do her like the other character that I did. She's got like a ponytail. What's going on there? She's looking good. Okay, let's leave her for a second. I'm going to give her Cocoa pants and boots. Cocoa is super dark brown. It's almost black. Kind of a burnt umber color. Can you see her? Yeah. Oof. Well, maybe I will do something different from her boots because they do stick out. Okay. She's looking good. Just in case anyone was wondering, here's our other two guys from last night. These two fellows, they came out great. Just fine. I could zoom in on them even. Well, I can't zoom in on them any closer than I already have them. He looks great. He's fine. And then this dude. So we want our new guys to kind of fit in with that look. This is snake bite leather. Well, it's actually snake bite leather is this is a tan color is what it is. I might be cracking open another brush tonight. Hold on. Oof. Okay, this is going to be on our shoes. Almost want to give her kind of gray hair to show that she's kind of tough, but I'm going to give her some attractive brown hair. Okay. All right, she's looking good. I'm going to also do her holster, whoops, in the same brown. Possibly her belt. I don't know if I can get in there. The answer is maybe. Okay. All right. Let us figure out what kind of hair she needs. A good hair color for her. So this is a yellow orange. However, if we put it on a thin coat and then if we cover it in that brown varnish, it actually comes out looking very natural. Natural ginger. No, she won't even look ginger. She's going to just look blonde. And I know it looks like this right now. But just because of the transparency of this color, we should get... I mean, she's still going to look blonde. She won't look as blonde as the medic, but she'll look convincingly blonde. Okay. So it looks a little school marmish with his hairstyle. Okay. Now you can already see the transparency coming through. And once we have the brown on there, we're going to see a little bit more of it. If we got really bold, we could do a white stripe in her hair or something like that. Okay, she's looking good. We got these two. Now she actually does have, our medic does have a holster. So I think we should have some kind of leather accoutrement on her. I'm going to go for a slightly lighter brown. This is raw umber. This isn't as dark as the cocoa. Whoops. I could have even gone red with it to really push the idea that she's a medic and say, oh, this is medical gear, you know. She's going to have brown shoes. So I'll use the same brown. And even if we decided she wasn't the medic, we could say, okay, this is like a... I don't know if you've ever seen Navy Whites. It's kind of like the same concept. Like, oh, this is a dress uniform. she's still the captain or something. I like the idea of her as a medic, though. Of course, on Star Trek, you could be a medic and you didn't have to wear white. You could wear, like, the light blue. Yeah, she's looking good. Okay. All that's missing on her is we're going to make her weapon silver. And then we'll put her aside. And I think I can probably work in another orc. All right. silver. All right, we'll figure this out. And that's our away team. Wait, where's the other guy? Let me zoom out. There's our away team. The two on the left aren't finished, but yes. And I could probably get a robot or an android to add into this group. And they'd be perfect for like a Rogue Stars Explorer team or away team. What is this? Oh, I don't know what that is. Okay. Moving them aside. 2 orcs. 3 orcs. Here's the orc that's unfinished. Just throw these guys aside. Do I want to throw in another orc? I could conceivably do a 4th orc. All right, let's do it. We're going to do the orcs. 1 more orc. All right, Ice Blue, where are you? I've lost track of it. It's not this one. Oh, here it is. Okay. He's definitely barefoot. All right, we're getting in there. Get in there. I'm going to call that armor on his back. So in fact, even on this guy, I actually painted it as skin, but I think it's armor. Okay. So let's do, I gotta do the armor now. I'm gonna do a lighter brown. I used a really dark brown. I think I used raw umber on this guy over here. But we could switch him up a little bit. I used to have a nice set of works like this that were full size, 28 millimeter. They were like real old school sculpts with the top knots and everything. And oh, I've missed his toes. And I remember I painted them bright green. That was when I was first starting to paint miniatures. Okay, getting somewhere. Okay, I quite like that look. Orc number 2. Orc number 3. Upstairs, I think my girlfriend is watching Lego Masters. She is totally into Lego Masters. This lady has never played with Legos in her life. She just likes watching what everybody else does, though. Okay, whoop. It is going to be Thursday tomorrow. I love it. I've got to do all kinds of touch-ups on this dude. I've gone over onto the skin. I didn't even paint some of his leg. All right. For this guy, I think those are metal plates, but I think he's got kind of a fur under tunic down here. And kind of a leather. I know I've painted this as skin, but I'm going to paint it again. I think it's really leather. And then on top of it, he's wearing a helmet. And I think his helmet is either black or brown, but with silver or rusted metal fittings. And then it's going to have, bone horns. Maybe a chainmail bit at the end. All right. Just his helmet is left. I have multiple armies of orcs at this point. I could do orc versus orc wars and have each orc army look completely distinct. It's the orcs of the north versus the Bloody Eye tribe or something, All right. Now, where was I? If that's where we are, let me do the touch-up, and then I'll do the hair. Well, let me do the hair first. So the hair is, this is called patina. It's a metallic verdigris, copper rust verdigris kind of color. Looks like that. And for some reason, we had the idea that their top knots, for the ones that have hair, could have this color. And then the inside of their mouths, for those guys that have mouths open, their tongues are sticking out. So I was going to do those in pink. Bright pink. Get some nice contrast going. So there's 3 identical orcs, and then 2 identical orcs back behind. All right, now let me fix that one dude's unpainted toes, and then we're going to do a copper-colored shin plate on one guy. Where's my light blue again? Right here, ice blue. Let's take a look real quick. Could it be this guy? Actually, I don't think it was this guy. Might have been. Okay, about this guy. This guy didn't even get to his toes. Oof. Big unpainted area I left on that guy. All right, and then this guy is the one we already did. He's looking good. Bro. These guys are looking okay. Let me do a little touch up here. Right here. How about you? Same deal? Nope. That looks good on you. Okay. We're going to do some metal now. Let me do the copper first, and we're going to do metal. So this is brown. Copper D Dopper. That's this stuff. This is called Worn Penny. Okay, this is the fellow that's already done. His looks good. I'm going to do just the hilts of his weapons. And then for these guys, they have like a little shin guard on their advanced foot. And I'm going to paint that in copper. I could even paint the hilt of their weapon too. Nice, okay. How about you? Hilt of your weapon. All right. You looking good. All right, how about you? How about you? This is a Falchion wielding orc. I think when you look these up on the website, they just call them orcs with hand weapons. Possibly man orcs. I'm not sure which group of orcs I got these from. Ugh. It's the plight of every miniature painter is that you just, you have more miniatures bought than you're ever going to paint. And you're like, I'll get around to them, but it's, I guess for the 28 millimeter guys, it probably isn't a problem because they're so expensive. Like if you buy a $10 miniature, you're going to paint that miniature. But with the 15 millimeter guys, if you spend $10, you're going to get like 12 miniatures. And it might take you a while to get to all of those. All right. The other color is, I've got a gunmetal gray, but the one I want to use is called nickel. Here's nickel. Okay, there's nickel. Okay. All right, for this fella, let's get all their swords. That's all that's left on these guys is the swords. So for the top knot orcs, it's just a sword. There's a top knot orc right here. You know, just do the falchion here. Because what else you got to do? Got to do his mouth. He's got an open mouth. This is the guy we already did. Whoops. Let's put you over there. The rest of these dudes, a little bit more complicated. They've got some, like, fragmentary chainmail armor. They've got swords, too. In fact, they have 2 swords each. These dudes are dual wielders. It's like sword and dagger, I guess. And then a little bit about here. Why, hello. All right. I'm going to do bone for the horns. Look at one more like this. Okay. And then once they dry, we're going to do that same brown quick shade varnish. Then I'm going to go upstairs and play some Trove. Or some other video game. I started this out of boredom with Trove. I was like, I'm a little bored. All right. Looking good. All right, let's do the bone horns. Where's my bone color? I'm going to use this color. It's kind of an off-white. Color is not easy, man. Shout out to Sideburns, who was just here. He was probably here for like a second. He's like annoyed. The chat is gone. What happened? But he's coloring the cover of the next anthology, and he's working on it now, and it's really looking good. Definitely go to his channel and check it out. And it's an arena scene. I can't tell if he's submitting latest the latest episode of Duckling Star in there. I can't remember if he submitted it or not, or if he doesn't want it in there, fine. But I am appreciative that he's doing the cover. There's a lot of people that want to do the cover, but they don't want to like bite the bullet and do the comic. Do your own comic first. It's what I would prefer people to do, just because you should, make the effort and get it published and be in there. Let's see. All right. So this is all good. This is all good. This is all good. I can do the pink open mouths for those two dudes in the back. This is this pink, which is called, I think it's called Cosmos. No, it's just called pink. I think there is a pink called Cosmos, though. Oops. And it's so easy to get this wrong, so let's just hope. You can see he's got his little mouth open. See? His tongue is sticking out. Let's just toss it in there. How about him? This is the guy we already painted. It largely flaked off when I did the brown stuff, so let's just add it right back in. Looking good. When we kind of put them all together, what do we get? Three tough-looking dudes. That's what we get. All right, I'm going to do, just while we're waiting, we're going to do some black bases. This is it. So, typical 15 millimeter miniature. I'll give you an example. Oof. This is a Naga. A Naga is kind of like a snake man. They have a little tiny base on them. It's usually a standalone base like that. And it's not enough usually. You can see he just falls right over. And, you know, usually he's good enough to stand, but your best bet is to stick him on something else. So you get a piece of MDF. There's a piece of MDF. This is thicker MDF than I usually use, but and you glue them down. Super glue them, and then you can build up the base. You can decorate the base. It's much more useful for skirmish gaming because it's all the same size. Like nobody can go, well, your miniature has a weird shaped base. That's why you were able to move as far as you did. If you have everybody on the same size plan, you know, you don't have that problem. Okay, so for this, what we're going to do, what we about to do, is we're just going to, you notice on each one of these bases that I've done, as I've been painting it, you know, paint got onto the bottom of the base. And, you know, especially when you're doing dry brushing, you can see there's plenty of color that kinds of ends up over here. So you just go back and take it out. It's not hard to do. So for this guy, for example, I was really congested yesterday. I was like, oh, I'm not controlling my breathing. Turn the volume down if you have to listen to me. Oi. All right. So now you can see the base kind of fades into the MDF a little bit better. And especially some of my early miniatures, when I was doing for Rogue Stars, that's all I did. I would just paint the bases, and that was it. And then I learned how to like kind of put some, build up some terrain on the base. And then I was like, that's really cool. I'm using this this cardboard stuff. I just have a bunch of spare cardboard plates kind of laying around here in the basement, and I was thinking of cutting it into shapes and making some of that into hills. Like you could mix Elmer's glue and some of that terrain stuff and kind of mold a little area or something. And I have some aquarium plants. Just a cool way to make your wargaming more fun, more colorful, more interesting. Okay. Those are our 5 orcs. Wait, you can't see them. The 5 orcs of tonight. They're not done because we're gonna goop them still. But they gotta dry for a little bit. Now, my sci-fi dudes, they have been drying all night long. And I could do the base right now on them too. But I'm gonna goop them first. At least I'm gonna do the medic. Because I'm curious myself what's gonna happen. I'm not gonna use the dark brown. I'm gonna use the other stuff. The black. And we're just going to hope for the best because, like I said, I've had mixed results. I have a couple of characters in power armor that I painted in white and I used it. And some of them it came out great. Some of them not so great. I've used it on some of those plastic robots. Came out great. All right. This is her. I'm going to try and avoid getting it on her face or hair because I do want to use I'm going to use the brown stuff still on those areas. Well, I might be able to do. What if I did use the black stuff on her face and hair? Makes me wonder. All right. I'm holding it upside down in the hopes that it'll dry a little bit and pool in an unusual, like an uplighted way. All right. It seems to, it's a bit subtle. I'm not sure I like it. It doesn't hurt it. It hasn't, I mean, it's, like I said, the problem is it might be too subtle. I don't know. We'll put her aside for a second. Now, how about her? I'm not going to do her in the black stuff. I'm going to use the brown stuff on her. Let's get that stuff out. All right, here it is. All right, I'm going to have to shake this up a little bit more. Hang on. Oof. And I think rather than just goop it on this time, I'm going to try and real carefully paint it on. Now, this might be a huge waste of time. But what's the harm? That's the harm, I ask. Okay. All right. And yes, I know. All right, I'm just gooping it on at this point. Well, I'm not gooping it on that much. Okay. This stuff you got to wash off pretty quickly. Let's leave it on for just a moment. So you remember when her hair was like bright orange? And now it's kind of, I think, a very pleasing blonde, like a nice auburn color. She looks all right. Her face came out really good. I mean, it's the shading is picking up in the right spaces. Her base probably needs to be redone, but I mean, blacked out anyways. All right, let's let her dry. She'll lose that kind of shiny quality overnight. Let me go back and look at my Medic here. What do we think? I think I'm going to give her some of the brown as well. Give her the brown. All right. What if I just localize it to just her hair and face? And hands. All right. Let's take it back off. Now, if too much were to get on our uniform, of course, we could always dust it with white again and highlight it. But you know what? I think that's looking good. Let's let her dry as well. Let's see what we come up with. Now for my orc boys. We're going to assess. Are they dry enough to goop? To goop or not to goop? Like this guy already got gooped right here. And he came out great. I think he came out good. This guy, he's still just a bit wet. How about you? Just a bit wet. Like you can see, just a bit shiny on the base there. But this guy, he's actually okay. So he's got a lot of like facial features that are going to come out, I hope. And then this guy's fine. We can goop him. All right, let's go ahead and do it. We'll regret it later. I'm going to give myself some paper towels just so I'm ready. Ready for love. All right. It's about to happen. All right. That's the one that's already done. Some of you watching this are like, he's so dumb. Don't goop them. Just leave them be. They're fine. You know, they got their base colors on there. I swear they look nicer with the, once the stuff comes off, I think they do look nicer. Come on. All right. How about you? How about you, mister? Oh, there's my pumpkin notification. That's my phone hits low battery mode. All right, we're going to take the goop off, ungoop it, and then that'll be the end of the stream. It's just a natural ending point. All right. Okay. This time he managed to keep his pink mouth. He's the one who already got done. How about this guy? All right. Looking good, looking good. How about you? Looking good. All right, let's try with this guy. Nothing is unrecoverable, for the most part. Well, there are some things that are unrecoverable. If you change the morphology, the geometry, the shape of the miniature somehow through melting or glues or something like that, that would be a bad thing. All right, let's give it a shot. But in general, this brown stuff, it comes right off. Except for the staining parts. I used to do a real cool trick with ink. I don't know if Citadel still sells ink. Or sorry, are they still called Citadel paints? Citadel minis? Games Workshop would sell inks. And what you do is you throw some ink in there, and it does the same thing because the pigment of the ink sinks down. And it looks amazing. So especially for orcs, if you paint them in a light green and you throw some dark green ink on top, you would get some amazing looking orcs at the end of the day. All right. Looking good, baby. Looking quite muppety. All right. Let's just take a look at tonight's accomplishments. Let's zoom out. These are the ones we did tonight. So we actually did quite a few. One dude was already done. I'll say it's this guy. It was this guy was already done. So it was 6 guys. We did pretty much those 6. And that's pretty good for an hour's work. They're not dry yet, obviously. And they still need bases. But looking cool, looking cool. All right. Talk to you later. Please like, follow, and subscribe. We will have more amazing content. Well, really boring hobby content. Painting miniatures. And maybe some gaming even. You can check out my comic. I'm drawing it right now. I've got some really ugly, rough thumbnails for page 15. I'm going to do another draw stream that's going to show you how I've taken my thumbnails and trained them. I wouldn't say finished pencils, but, maybe a little bit more finished than they were before. So check those out. That'll be tomorrow. I have less time when I'm teaching in general. And keep on keeping on. Talk to you later.